Good morning, year one. I hope you're all well. We are going to be doing some more time past work. Yesterday I gave you a time and I gave you a second time and I asked you to use your mini clocks to work out how many hours had passed in between both of the times, okay? And we're going to do a little bit more of that today. So if you look on my clock on my screen, I have my clock on 12 o'clock and I have here my second clock on 5 o'clock. And I want you to do the same thing. So I'm going to put your clock on 12 o'clock and I want you to, we're going to work out how many hours between 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock, okay? And we're going to make sure that we move our clock in a clockwise motion. We're moving to the right when we look at, as we look at our clock, okay? So 12 o'clock until 5 o'clock. So let's count the hours as we go along. So starting at 12, we're going to go 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and 5 hours. It took 5 hours to get from 12 o'clock until 5 o'clock. And we can just show that on here. So 1 hour takes us to 1 o'clock, 2 hours takes us to 2 o'clock, 3 hours takes us to 3 o'clock, 4 hours takes us to 4 o'clock, and 5 full spins, 5 hours takes us to 5 o'clock. So 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock was 5 hours, okay? Let's stick with 5 o'clock then, okay? This time I want to go from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, okay? So we're going from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. How many hours is that? So I'm going to put my clock back to 5 o'clock. So I've got my 5 o'clock here and I'm going to go until I get to 8 o'clock. So 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It took me 3 hours to get from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So let's see. On our big clock, 1 hour takes us to 6 o'clock, 2 hours takes us to 7 o'clock, and 3 hours takes us to 8 o'clock. So this time I'm going to do 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So we're going to do 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock and see how many hours in between that. So we're going 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So I'm going to put my clock back to 8 o'clock. And I want you to do the same. So we're going to start off at 8 o'clock. And let's see how many hours we have to pass to get to 12 o'clock. So 8. 1 hour takes us to 9 o'clock. 2 hours takes us to 10 o'clock. 3 hours takes us to 11 o'clock. And 4 hours takes us to 12 o'clock. So from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock was 4 hours. So I've put in your seesaw pack today. There are some more practice of some questions like that. I've put that sheet in from yesterday for if those who didn't get onto it. And even if you did, there's some more of the same in there on the second page on your seesaw. Page 3, I think it is actually. So let's make it a little bit harder today now. Okay, so we will start off today a little bit different. Let's start off at, I'm going to go back a few hours on this time. I'm going to start off on 3. But I'm going to change that to 3:30 by adding 30 minutes. So look what happens to my minute hand. 3:30. Remember, the hour hand's just past the 3. We don't want to go exactly to the 3. We want it to be between the 3 and the 4. 3:30. Okay. We are going to do 3:30 until 5:30. So let me put my clock to 5:30. So I've got 3:30 to 5:30. How many hours is that? So everyone put your clock to 3:30, your little mini one. 3:30, and I'm going to do 2 full spins. Well, I'm going to work out how many spins. I don't know why I'm telling you the answer. I'm tired. I'm going to do the spins until I get from 3:30 to 4:30, 5:30. Now, we need to make sure that the spins, the minute hand is going a full spin around the clock. So I'm not going to count it when I go past 12. I'm going to count it as I go past 6 each time. So 3:30, add 1 hour, 60 minutes is 4:30. Add another hour is 5:30. So it took me 2 spins or 2 hours to get from 3:30 to 5:30. Let's watch it on the big screen. We have 1 hour. We have 2 hours between 3:30 and 5:30. So now As you can see, I'm on 5:30, and I want to go from 5:30 to 8:30. No, sorry, we'll change it up. We'll say 5:30 to 11:30. That's quite a long one, isn't it? 5:30 to 11:30. So we're on 5:30. Let's move on to 11:30. So 1 hour, 2 hours takes me to 7:30. 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, and 6 hours. It took me 6 hours to get from 5:30 to 11:30, and we'll show it again. 1 hour took us to 6:30. Another hour, second hour took us to 7:30. Our third hour took us to 8:30. Fourth hour to 9:30. Fifth hour to 10:30. And our sixth hour took us to 11:30. So 6 hours between 5:30 and 11:30. Okay, we'll do one more of those. So we have 11:30, and we'll do from 11:30 until 3:30. So 11:30, let's move on. Now remember, make sure we're going clockwise. 11:30 to 3:30. So 1 hour takes us to 12:30. 2 hours takes us to 1:30. 3 hours takes us to 2:30. And 4 hours takes us to 3:30. So from 11:30 to 3:30, or 11:30 to 3:30, took us 4 hours. Let's watch. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and it took us 4 hours. I'm going to come out of this now and show you the different activities we have for today in maths. So some people might not have got onto these or need a little bit more practice of them from yesterday, where you start with your clock time and you finish with your clock time, work out how many hours are in between, just like we've just been doing on the clock. If you've completed that yesterday and you did all right, but you think you might need a little bit more practice, we have something similar here. We have o'clock times, 2 o'clock times. So we have 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. How many hours is in between? Then, if I scroll down a little tiny bit, I have some problems where some of them, it's actually asking you how long it takes to, I think it's bake things. Yeah, how long it takes to bake different things. So as you can see here, we have 1/2 time to 1/2 time. So make sure you start on your 1/2 time and work on to your 1/2 time. Then, if you're really, really, really good at it, this is very, very tricky. You can use this table to work out the answers. Now, you might not even use your clock for this. For example, it says our runner is called Dean, and his start time, he starts running at 1 o'clock. He must be running a marathon or something, and he finishes at 8 o'clock. Maybe not that, maybe more than a marathon, it would take him that long. So he's going from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock. You might use your clock to solve that problem. If you think you're a whiz and you might even not even need your clock, you can count on. So 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock, so I'm going to count on. I've got 1 and I want to get to 8, so I'm going to count on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It took me 7. I had to add on 7, so that must be, it took me 7 hours. So what I would do is I'd just write on here, 7 hours. If you don't know how to spell it, it's up here, okay? So there are a couple of questions like that. There's some of them, some other half-past ones. Then you've got some of these towards the bottom where it's really difficult. It starts giving you missing things. So this guy, he finished at 3 o'clock. So it hasn't given us his start time. Amal, it's only given his, it might be a girl actually. Amal has finished running at 3 o'clock and it took her 2 hours. So what you're gonna have to work out is, what was 2 hours earlier than 3 o'clock? So I'm gonna put my clock on 3 o'clock. This is when Amal finished. So before she started, we need to go backwards 2 hours. So we need to go anti-clockwise. So I'm gonna go 1 hour, 2 hours. She must have started at 1 o'clock, and you fill in the missing bits of the table. We've got a few other ones here. Look at that one. It's a hard one. You might have to make up your own little bit there. Don't worry if that's too much for you. All you need to know in year 1 is o'clock, 2 o'clock, how many hours have passed. But I like to keep you on your toes, guys. So best of luck with that. I need to remind you, actually tomorrow we have a special drawing workshop at 10 o'clock. So actually put that on your Seesaw for tonight, so you can have a look at that and see and remind yourselves. I think it starts at 10 o'clock. You just click on the link, and we're going to be with some illustrators, and they're going to teach us how to draw some pictures from some books that they've drawn in, which should be quite fun. So that will be a fun activity anyway to break up the week. Keep going. We've only got a few more days left until we're all back together, okay? So take it easy, guys.